Hi everyone, Ravi this side. Welcome to Engineering Adda. So in this video, we are going to discuss what is GitHub Action and how we can create our CI/CD pipeline using GitHub Action. And I will also show you how we can create a Docker image of our application and push that image to the Docker Hub using GitHub Action. So in this video, I will be creating one simple Spring Boot application. With the help of GitHub Action, we'll try to create a CI/CD pipeline and we'll try to build our application, and then we'll try to create the Docker image of our application and then push it to the Docker Hub. Okay, so let's get started. So let me go to the IntelliJ. Let me create one simple application. Okay, so let's say GitHub Action app. Go next, and then I'm simply going to use the Spring Web. Let me remove the Lombok. Okay, new window. So it started configuring our project. It will download all the dependencies. So let it done. Okay, yeah, we are done with the configuration. So here I'm not going to do much of the development. I'm simply going to create one get map here. So let me annotate this with a REST controller and then create one get mapping. Okay, and simply return some string here. Okay, let's say welcome to Engineering Adda. Okay, now what I will do, I will try to push this whole application to the GitHub. So let me open GitHub desktop. Okay, let me try to add this. GitHub Action app. Let me add this repository and then we'll commit it and then push it. Push it. Okay. So let me log in the GitHub here. I already have logged in. So let me refresh this. So let me go to the repositories here. You can see this application is there in our GitHub. So let me open this application. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create the CI/CD pipeline for our application. So you can see this option action here, right? So this is the GitHub action. Let me go inside this. And here you can see we can configure our application with Java with Maven, publish Java packages with Gradle, publish Java packages with Maven, Java with Gradle. So many options are there. You can configure your project according to your use. So I'm going to use the Java with Maven. Now let me also show you some deployment here. So you can deploy your project to the Azure. So is AWS also. You can deploy your project to the Google Cloud, Terraform. So everything is here. For security, you can see some of the configuration is there. Continuous integration, some configuration is there. And similarly for automation, pages, everything is there in the GitHub action. You can explore this. So let me use the Java with Maven. Now configure our project. So here you can see it is generating one maven.yml file, and here you can see it is providing the name, and whenever we are going to push some changes to our branch, then this job will automatically trigger. So what this job do? This job is doing nothing but it is setting up a configuration environment, build environment for us, and it is using the JDK version 7. I'm going to sorry, JDK version 11. I'm going to change it to 17 because in our project we are using 17. So whenever you are pushing something to the branch, to the Git, it will trigger this job, and the build will start for your application. So for that, this is what all needed. It is needing the Java. Okay, so let me try to remove this optional one. Okay, and let me try to do some changes here in the run. So I'm going to do maven clean install. Okay, and let me change the version of JDK to 17. Okay, now let me do a commit here. You can, okay, it is already there, or you can also provide some commit message here. Okay, let me try to create like first commit or GitHub action, something like GitHub action first commit and commit this. Okay, now go to the action and you can see one build has started triggered. Let me open it and then show you. So you can see it is setting up the job. It will run the action and then set up the JDK, do the build. Okay, it will take few seconds of time to carry out each step. So you can see these are the steps that it has done in the build. Set up the job, run action, set up our JDK, build with Maven, post setup, and then finally the job is completed. So our build is successful. So this is about the GitHub action build. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to show you how you can create the Docker image of your application and how you can deploy it to the Docker Hub using the GitHub action. So first of all, let me try to pull these changes to my local. So let me go to the GitHub desktop application. Let me refresh this. So pull origin. Let me come to the project and then show you. So here you can see one GitHub folder is created. Let me go inside this. Inside the workflow, you can say see this maven.yml, which is a YML that generated for the build. Okay, so here we need to do some configuration to create our Docker image and push that image to the Docker hub. So I already have this code handy for you. So let me try to copy this and paste it out there and then explain you. So let me come down. Okay, let me. Okay, so we are good now. So you can see this is a second job or second build that we are going to do. The first one is to do a Maven clean install. Second job is to build and push the Docker image. Okay, so here you can see I have already given uh, here you need to provide the repository name of your Docker Hub and then the image name. Okay, and the tag is whatever tag you wanted to use. Let's say I'm using latest, and then you need to provide the Docker file and the username and password you can set to the secret key, or directly you can provide here, but I'm not going to provide here. I'm going to use the secret of the Docker, sorry, secret of the GitHub, and then provide the username and password there. Okay, so let me create a Docker file here. So right click, new file, Docker file. Okay, if you don't know how you can create the Docker image, then I already have the videos on my channel, a playlist for the Docker. You can go and watch it out. So let me do the configuration for Docker. So it's from OpenJDK. The one is 7. We need to add our jar file to the target. So let's say target slash. We need to provide the jar file name. So let's say I'm going to create the jar with the name GitHub action. GitHub action dot jar. Let me copy this and then provide it here. Now let me try to create entry point, and let me try to provide the configuration for that. So it's Java minus jar, and then we need to provide the jar file name. So copy this and paste it out here. Now another configuration that I need to do, I need to make some changes in the pom.xml. So here we need to give the final name, and let me provide the jar name here. Okay, so the jar with the GitHub action name will be created inside the target folder, which will be generated here. So we are done with the configuration. Let me go to the Docker file. We are good now. Let me copy this Docker image name, and let me go to the maven YML. So here, this is the repository name for me. This is my repository. You can provide your repository. So you should be having a account in the Docker Hub, and there you can get this repository name, and this is the image name. So let me make the image name like GitHub action. Okay, and we are done now. So the second thing what I need to do, I need to set up this username and password in the GitHub. So let me go to the GitHub, and in the particular project you can see, you can go to the setting, and here you can find this secrets and the variables. You go inside this and action, and there you need to provide your username and the password. So let me copy this Docker username, come here, and then new repository secret, provide your username. My username is EnggAdda. Add this. Okay, and then again what we need to do, we need to create the password. So let me copy this one, come here, and then create a new repository secret, and then this is the password for us. So I'm going to provide my password. I have set my password. Okay, so you can see this Docker password and the Docker username is already set. Okay, so we are good now. So let me push the changes that we did here in the maven.yml file, and we have created the Docker image, Docker file, and the pom.xml configuration. So let me push these changes to the main branch. So Docker file added. Okay, and then commit it, push origin, and if you will come here to the action, you can see a build will be automatically triggered. So you can see a build is triggered. So let me go inside this, go to the build, and by Now let me try to log into the GitHub action. Sorry, GitHub. Sorry. Let me try to log into the Docker Hub and then show you if something is there or not. So let me sign in. So you can see I don't have any image here with the name GitHub action. Okay, let me go to the, you can see it is okay, the build is okay and it has already pushed everything to our Docker Hub. So let me refresh this. You can see one image is created with the GitHub action in our Docker Hub account. So what it did, the GitHub action is doing a build and then after that it is creating the Docker image of our application and then pushing that to the Docker Hub. So let me try to pull our Docker image locally and then try to run in run it in a Docker container and then try to hit the API that we have created. So for that, let me open the Docker desktop. Okay, so it will take few seconds to open it up. Okay, yeah, it is opening up. Now let me show you what all the images I have locally. So it is starting. Okay, so you can see I have locally this much images. Okay, GitHub action is not there locally. Let me try to show you remote repository here. So here you can see that Docker GitHub action is there, right? And we have pushed it 5 minutes ago. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pull this image locally. So this is the image name. Okay, copy this and let me try to, you can pull from here also or you can open up command prompt and then run a command to pull the Docker image from the Docker Hub. So either you can use this or you can use the command. So let me open the CMD and then run a command. So let me show you Docker images I have locally and then let me try to do a Docker pull with the image name this and it is using the tag as latest one. Let it pull. So you can see it is started downloading the image from the Docker Hub. Okay, so you can see pull is complete. Now let me try to run the command Docker images to show you. So you can see this image is there locally. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to run this image locally. So either you can come here to the Docker desktop and come to the images and local images and you can select this out and then from here also you can run it. Okay, or there is a command to run, so I'm going to use the command. So it is docker run -p. We need to provide the port number here. So let's say I'm exposing the Docker container to the port number 8080 and our internal port is 8080 and then we need to provide the image name. So let me copy this. Okay, and then enter. So you can see our application is up now. So let it up first. So you can see it is up on the port number 8080. Now let me try to hit the API. So it is HTTP localhost 8080, and you can see our API is working fine. Welcome to engineering at the Adda. So you can come here and then you can come to this main application, and you can see this is what we are returning. So we are good with the development. You saw that how GitHub Action is working, how it can perform a build for our application, or how it can create a Docker image and push that Docker image to the Docker hub for us. So this is about this video, guys. If you like the video, please hit the like button and please subscribe the channel for more such content. Thanks.